That's 7 straight wins for your Minnesota Twins. Wow. Let's break it down on today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Thursday, April 28th, and I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off $500. Use code Locked On at checkout. The Twins are gone streaking. 7 in a row for your Minnesota Twins. Again, this is Nash Walker. Been writing at Twins Daily for over 2 years. Been hosting this podcast for over 2 years. This is season number 4 at Twins Daily, season number 3 on the podcast. Reading a tweet from Mr. Aaron Gleeman. The Twins have won 7 games in a row, which is their longest winning streak since 2011. And when they started 4-8, I didn't see this coming. I did not see a 6-0 homestand. I did not see the offense waking up the way that it has in some of these games, not all, but it's very encouraging. It's great to see. Let's talk about Carlos Correa today. Gilberto Celestino had a nice game. The Twins' depth. Bailey Ober leaves, unfortunately, with a groin injury. And then we'll look ahead to the Tampa series, which starts tomorrow night in St. Pete. Let's start with Correa. To me, with Buxton sitting, getting a day off this afternoon, remember, the Twins have 13 straight games. This is game 3 of 13 in a row. So when they rest Buxton in a day game after a night game, I would advise people not to lose their minds. This is going to happen. He's not going to play every single day, especially after the knee injury scare last week, and not to mention the injuries over the last 5 years, right? So 13 games in a row. Buck is not going to play all 13 until the next off day. Day game after night game, you can pretty much draw him up for getting a day off. Rocco did say Correa is going to play many of these games because Correa is coming off a season where he played 150 games and Buxton played 61. They're on different stratospheres in that way. Correa did play. He hit second, and he was outstanding. He started 0 for 2, and I was thinking again, when is he going to come through? When is he going to produce for this team? And his next at-bat, it was as soon as his next at-bat, bases loaded, hits a rocket double, ends up turning into a triple with an error in left field. It's 108 off the bat, puts together a great at-bat against Tarek Skubal, and lines one, bases clearing, double. Bang. Ground out at 106 miles an hour, a single at 104, a single at 103, and a flyout at 95 on the exit velocity. So Carlos Correa is hitting the ball super hard now, and he's elevating, hitting frozen ropes more so than he's hitting grounders. Did ground out today once at 106. But Correa coming around at the plate, which is super welcome. That development, it could not be more welcome for the Twins offense. I think I'm hopeful about Correa. One, he's Carlos Correa. Nothing more needs to be said. I wasn't worried about his cold start. I was just thinking, how long is he going to hurt this offense by not producing? Like, he's hurting them actively. But he came on today. He was Carlos Correa. He is Carlos Correa. He's one of those guys where it's in the name. Like if Aaron Judge or Mike Trout or Jose Altuve, Ronald Acuna Jr., Juan Soto, the stars of the game, if they're struggling and hitting a buck 30 after 15 games, you're going to notice, especially he's coming off a contract year and he's on a 1-year deal, highest average annual value and for an infielder in MLB history. But he's in that group where it's Juan Soto, it's Carlos Correa. They're going to have a good year if they're healthy, right? You just know it. He's done it so many times now. He's an exceptional player, and this was his game, I thought. Twins held the Tigers down for 1 run. Bailey Ober left this game early. In relief, Cody Stashak was good. Griffin Jacks closed it down. Twins opened up a 7-1 lead, so Jacks didn't have a whole lot to protect there. But this was Carlos Correa's coming out party, I think, offensively. To get on the board for 3 hits, to drive in a bunch of runs, it was great to see him do that. And I'm excited for this weekend in St. Pete in a climate-controlled environment indoors. And then they're going to go to Camden and Baltimore. They won't be home for a little bit here. So that's very, very good news for the Twins. I think getting him, leaving on this note and flying out of Minnesota where it's been very, very cold for everybody, sending down to St. Pete, climate-controlled, Buxton's going to play. this offense could be reaching an early season peak here, at least completely breaking out of that funk they were in. They're going to have games where they struggle. Shane McClanahan is a super tough lefty. He's going Saturday for Tampa. I would not be surprised at all if the Twins struggle in that game. It's 162, but I will go back to my predictions before the season. My prediction for this team was I think that they're going to have a very good offense. I think at the minimum, this is going to be a top 3 to 5 offense in the American League. I think they have a chance to be even better than that. I really do, especially in this division. Are you all that impressed by the Tigers? Are you all that impressed by the White Sox or the Royals? I'm not. I know Kansas City got them for 2 out of 3, but I'm not super concerned about those teams. And I'm not super concerned the Twins are going to have trouble hitting those teams. You have to remember, they play those teams 19 times a year. Cleveland has a good staff. Cleveland is always tricky for the Twins, pitching-wise. But the other 3, they play them 19 times, and now they are 7-1 against, or 7-2 against the division. So far, I have a good feeling about this. I have a good feeling that their offense is going to be able to hit pitching within the division all year. With that being said, there are some very good pitchers in this division. The White Sox bullpen, when healthy, is going to be tough. As I said, Cleveland's rotation is tough. Kansas City has some dudes. Daniel Lynch looks like he's going to be one. Brad Keller's off to a great start for them. But overall, this isn't the American League East where you have a Blue Jays rotation that has like 5 number 2s. You have a Yankees rotation with Garrett Cole and Luis Severino. You have, a Rays rotation that always find a way to get it done. This is not that. This is the American League Central. We know this division. And I think a big part of why Josh Donaldson signed with the Twins is money. That's why he signed with the Twins. But maybe in the initial process, thinking about facing American League Central pitching for 79 games out of the year, I'm sure that enticed him. And I think that probably enticed Carlos Correa too to take this deal. Be like, hey, I'll take a quasi 1-year deal in the American League Central and see the damage I can do in that division. And he hasn't done it to this point, but I'm hopeful that he will. And I'm hopeful that this offense is going to be good this year. Let's talk about Bailey Ober. Unfortunately, leaves this game early. Gilberto Celestino picked it up in Buxton's absence. Let's talk about it after this word from Blue Nile. This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. Blue Nile is awesome. Wedding jewelry, everyday fine jewelry, whatever you're looking for, BlueNile.com is the largest online retailer of certified diamonds and fine jewelry. The company offers a superior experience for purchasing engagement rings, wedding rings, and fine jewelry by providing expert guidance, in-depth educational materials, and unique online tools that place consumers in control of the jewelry shopping process. Again, go to BlueNile.com. Lockdown Sports listeners get $50 off $500. This podcast exclusive is only good through Mother's Day. Use code LOCKED ON. That's code LOCKED ON. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. So Bailey Ober has to leave this game early with a groin injury. He was having some trouble. I didn't notice that he was completely off. He wasn't making the pitches. He wasn't getting swings and misses. Tigers were just hitting singles all day today. Single. I don't think they had an extra base hit, maybe one all day. And I thought Ober was okay. Maybe his slowest start of the year in terms of his first couple innings. He got in some trouble. But as I expected in the White Sox series Sunday, I expected the Tigers offense to at least put up a fight today after going down 2-0 in this series. It's not common. Like you see, this is the Twins' longest winning streak since 2011. And they had some rough years in there, but they also had some division winning years and 3 playoff seasons in there as well. It's not common to go 6-0 against 2 teams in your division who are expected to compete this year. It's not common to win 7 straight games. This is not common to even sweep 2 series in a row. That's out of the ordinary, I would say. And it's not a crazy thing. They haven't won 20 in a row, but I'm surprised. I mean, I'm surprised with these last 7 games, not only what the Twins have been able to do, which is take advantage when the other team presents them. The Tigers were terrible today. I thought the Tigers were awful defensively today. Take advantage of that, but also win some games, take control of some games like they did yesterday, like they did Saturday against the Sox, game 2s of those series, like Joe Ryan did in Kansas City in the series finale. Take control of some games, but also win when the team is handing you opportunities to win. The Miguel Sano double over Robbie Grossman's head, right? The White Sox blunders in the field. Take advantage of those things. Take advantage of games that are sitting there for you to just take control of. And this is how you put together a 7-game winning streak. And right now, it's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Twins. Ober probably going to go to the injured list. Possible he doesn't. It's a groin. It's not an arm. So it's not, inconceivable to think that he might just miss a turn and stay on the active roster. But with rosters reducing, I think you'll probably see Bailey Ober go to the injured list, which means at least one missed start. You're hoping Sonny Gray, he's going to make a rehab start in St. Pete. You hope that he's back after that rehab start by the time you get to Baltimore. But this is the last series of the month. This will roll over to May. And if you look at my spreadsheet here, after a sweep, I have not put in that they swept the Tigers yet, but the Twins are +1 on the spreadsheet. I have them losing 2 out of 3 to Tampa. So even if they lose that Tampa series, they're still +1. They would be, for the month, +1 on what I predicted here. And I think that's definitely something. They're 11-8. If they lose 2 out of 3, they'll be 12-10. That's a pretty solid month for the Twins, I would say, in April, given the schedule. And then you look at May, and we talk about this a lot because it's important, and it's going to be important when we get there next week. You have to absolutely chub up in May, which means you have to get fat on these teams. It's Baltimore, it's Oakland, it's Kansas City, it's this Detroit team you just watched. A lot of gross teams you're playing, teams that are not expected to compete. You can't win this season in May, but you could lose this season in May if you let things get out of hand, because the schedule does get tougher. This is their easiest month in May. This is when you take firm control in this division. And with the way that they're gelling, the way that they're playing right now, I think it's possible. I mean, I think anything's possible at this point with them. The way the starting pitching has gone, the bullpen has been shaky, but okay, good enough, given what the offense has been able to do in some of these games. I think it's possible the Twins just go on a run here in May and just keep rolling. The 4-8 start to me was discouraging. I mean, there were some things that were nice. There were some great. I mean, Byron Buxton was great, and the starting pitching was awesome. But they were 4-8, and you are your record, and they had lost 8 of their first 12 games, and it's hard to be hopeful in that case. But 7 in a row to improve to 11-8 just completely flips that script. Let's talk about Gilberto Celestino after this word from BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NBA playoffs and the start of the MLB season. BetOnline.net is the best. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline is where the game starts. Gilberto Celestino, is he going to stick around? He might. He's a nice 4th outfielder for the Twins. Defensively, made a great catch today, I should say as well. This defense has been terrific. When you look at pitching, hitting, and defense, the defense, of course, the starting pitching has been awesome, but the defense might be the difference maker in this 7-game win streak. The defense was great last night. The defense was great today. Carlos Correa was exceptional at shortstop. Last night, again today, Gilberto Celestino made a great play in center. I think the Twins, much more than last year, might have some real depth on this team. And I think Celly represents that, Celestino. I don't think he's going to hit very much at the major league level right now. I'm hopeful in the future he gets more time, gets more experience. Eventually, he'll be able to hit a little bit. Now, hit enough to be a 4th outfielder is my expectation. Right now, he's probably not hitting enough to be a 4th outfielder, but I think he could stick because he's been doing enough, and he's right-handed. And as I said, 13 games in a row, Buck's going to need some days off. The kicker in this, though, is that Max Kepler's hitting left-handed pitching. So if Buxton needs a day off and it's a lefty, Kepler's just going to slide over to center. If it's a righty, Kepler's just going to slide over to center. It's pretty simple because he is hitting left-handed pitching. If Kepler was not, again, hitting left-handed pitching, you probably feel better about Celestino staying on the team. But I don't think he will, because Kepler is hitting lefties, because he can play center field, because Nick Gordon can play center field. Celly's probably not going to stick around when those rosters do reduce, but he's coming through. This is when good teams have good seasons. When teams have good seasons, they have games from guys you don't expect it from at all that contribute. Guys you don't expect to contribute much at all in that season do so. And Celestino's one of them, right? Coming through today and having a really nice game, getting on base, scoring runs, making catches in center, filling in for Byron Buxton, the team's best player, and helping the Twins sweep in this series and help them to their 7th straight victory when Jorge Polanco isn't hitting. And Carlos Correa hit today, but the overall line is not there. Luis Ariz didn't have a very good day at the plate. And they still win. They still win. That's the mark of a team that's rolling. They still win despite everybody else. Teams are rolling if everybody's hitting and they're all scoring a bunch of runs like the 2019 club did. But a team's also rolling when they're finding ways to win when guys aren't playing all that well, right? Especially guys you rely on, and Polanco and Correa and Buxton didn't play, and Luis Ariz. They're still winning. And that's the difference here in this 7-game streak. It's really exciting to see. They're going to go to Tampa or St. Pete to play the Tampa Bay Rays. Corey Kluber, Dylan Bundy tomorrow night. This is a challenge. I will be interested to see how they perform down there against a Rays team that's good again, that isn't struggling in any area, that's just having a solid year. Wander Franco is a beast. Brandon Lau is a beast. They're at home. Randy Arozarena. You got Bundy, who's been great to this point, but I'm curious to see how he does in this matchup. And then Corey Kluber, sinker slider. We've seen Kluber whoop up on the Twins in the past. This is not the same Corey Kluber, same name, different arm. 89, 90 sinker, still has that slurvy slider. He's going to get swings and misses to right-handers. The X factors in tomorrow's game are the lefties in this lineup: Luis Ariz, Trevor Larnach, Max Kepler, Jorge Polanco needs to get going in this series. This is the series where hopefully we see Correa completely break out and Jorge Polanco completely break out. And I don't expect like 1,000 OPS weeks, but just perform to the level that we expect, right, from Correa and from Polanco. And then Buck is the ultimate X factor in any game and in any series. It's going to be Bundy, Kluber. Saturday is McClanahan, Archer. Sunday is Paddock versus TBD. And whoever TBD is going to be good for Tampa. They always are. It looks like maybe a lefty and Josh Fleming. So I would say the Twins would very much benefit from winning Friday night. That would put them in the driver's seat because I think Saturday is going to be a challenge with McClanahan and Archer. The Rays know Archer. McClanahan is a tough young lefty who throws in the upper 90s. Twins have struggled with guys like him. Everybody struggles with guys like him. And then Sunday's probably a toss-up game with Paddock against whoever Tampa throws out there, because we know whoever they throw out there, again, is going to be solid. So win Friday, that puts you in the driver's seat. That would be 8 in a row. Man, that would be really cool. Just keep it rolling. Twins win. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, follow me on Twitter at NashWalker9. Follow the show at Locked On Twins. So glad to be joining you every single day to talk about a competitive baseball team here, at least in the month of April. A year ago now, they were done. They were canceled. They were over. The season was finished, and now it's alive and well, and that's super exciting. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. Sully is great. Check out Sully's podcast as well, Locked On MLB. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and go Twins.